Good evening and welcome to yet another episode of Get to Know. This is your host, Shama, and we're very privileged to have a special guest with us this evening. Her name is Sister Karen. I'll call you Sister Karen.
That's okay.
And we are just privileged to hear your testimony, Sister Karen. Welcome, and just introduce yourself to our audience.
Oh, my name is Karen. I'm a mom of 3. I was married for 20 years, been together for 29 years.
Yeah, married for 20 years, been together 29 years. All right, just take us a little bit back about your background, Karen. Just tell us about your upbringing, where you were born. Just tell us about how your childhood was.
I was born in Jamaica, Clarendon. Growing up, it was a lot of fun with my siblings. Went to primary school, went to high school. It was all right growing up. I've got 5 sisters, 5 girls of us, 1 boy, so 6 of us, and it was all right. I would say we not really poor, but we could manage. Yeah, but it was all right.
So childhood was generally an remarkable, quite healthy family, mom and dad present, went to primary school and went to high school in Jamaica as well? Yeah, so how did you end up here?
I finished school after, then my husband left, came here, so that's when
I think we skipped something, yeah? I think, you're in high school, then your husband left.
Yes.
Right, tell us how you ended up getting married.
I think I came from Jamaica, and when I came here, went through a lot of stuff back home, causing me to came here, and then we got married around, say, 2010. Yeah, but coming up, leaving Jamaica to came here, I was like, I've got my first child after I left school. I'm quite young, and when I left her to came here, my husband was here first, and then I think we normally talk on phone and so forth, but we normally like take conversations from someone else because that's when you never have mobile phones then. So I used to went to this place like to talk to him on phone and stuff. So one day I went to talk to him and stuff, and his brother was there. And while we was there, then he asked for me to talk to him, so I talked to him and stuff. Then I leave. He wanted me to come. I think his brother maybe mentioned something that in Jamaica that like he seen me talking to someone else, like a guy or something. So I said, he wanted me to move over there and then I have to come. So I came here. And when I came here, then the relationship was all right, going all right. But I noticed there was some change in that, and stuff. So he became like abusive and controlling and stuff. So while we were together, can I start again?
That's okay. You said you got married quite young, yeah? You had your first daughter, you got married, and then he convinced you to move to the UK.
Yes.
I think it was out of jealousy or just worried that you might be able to find somebody else?
Yeah. Yes.
So how was your transition to the UK?
When I came here, we were living with the person that you rent a place from. We were living with this person. So when I came here, I keep on talking to my mom back home, my dad, and they wanted to say like, see pictures of me while I was doing in England and stuff. So when they asked me for pictures, I was trying to get pictures to send back home. So this lady that we were renting place from, we went out to like just to the shops and stuff. So I said to her, if she can take a picture with me that I can send back home we've got the camera and stuff. So while we were out there taking pictures, I came back home. When I came back home, I think he came home from work, and the lady went and tell him that like we went and take pictures. So to send back. She didn't know that it was back home, but he assumed that the pictures I've taken is for somebody else. It wasn't to send back home. So this is when he confronted me about it, and when he confronted me about the pictures, this is when the physical abuse started.
Was he always? Did you see any red flags? Was there anything that could have, given you sort of an indication that he might be potentially a violent person or an overly jealous person? Was there anything in the beginning of your relationship that gave you a hint?
No,
on that
I haven't
side
seen anything like pinpoint, because during the time when we were together and I've got my daughter, I think a year after he left and came to England, and then after that, like I came after, so it wasn't like we were in a lengthy relationship together back home for me to see. But I can sense, like, I can see like he easily became hungry, like in certain things, but that's the only thing I've noticed, but not like jealousy or any other stuff. So when I was here and it started, I didn't like pay attention to it. I just said maybe it's just like a one-off or so. So I just ignore it and so forth. So while we were together, then that person that we were in place from, the lady had a son living there, but she didn't want to give the son a key. So he asked us to let the son in each time he came. So each time then he said to me, anytime the son came and I'm here alone, not to let in the son. But I didn't pay any attention to it, but I think he maybe thought that I think he's a bit jealous to say. So he said to me not to let in the son. So I said, okay. Then I noticed that. Then after we left that place, we went to live somewhere else. This guy that we went to place from as well, he went to this place temporary, but he said we're not allowed to use the kitchen because the kitchen was like a office. He like converted the space, but it's just a temporary. So we said, okay, but he still rented the place. Then I noticed when he was at work, I'm there, he became like, sometimes the guy turned up at using the office. He became suspicious, like he's saying, oh, the guy's coming here more frequent and stuff.
So I'm saying, jealous
yes,
signs,
yes. So those are the signs I've seen. So we end up just leaving, and then we became like words keep on exchanging and stuff. Then we left that place and we live together with one of my family. So after I left my family, then we started like living together now, like getting our own place, like living together now.
Like husband, wife, and you have a little one now.
Yeah. So I've got my son. So during the time I have my son, around say 2002, we were living together. So when we was living together, I noticed he be coming home like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the early morning, but I didn't think anything of it. So I said to him, look, where you're coming from this time? He said, he's out with friends and stuff. So I didn't like saying, I did. But I used to suspect that something, it wasn't right. So after a while, then something happened, and I noticed that I didn't know then that he did have some other woman pregnant. Wow. So he was basically like living in 2 homes.
So double life.
Yeah.
He was running 2 homes at the same time. Wow.
So he was at my house, like in the day. So on the time that he's coming home before he was at this other person's home. So
Wow.
this other person, a child was involved. So I had my son, like, say, 2002, and that child that he has on the outside was born 2003. I find out about everything like 2006.
Wow.
That he was, all this time, he was living a double life because he was basically like providing for both homes, like doing, but the other person knew about me, but I didn't know.
About her?
About her.
So this time when he was acting jealous about, you know, people around you, he was actually doing what he was trying to accuse you of
Yes.
doing. And did you have an indication of what sort of personality this person was displaying at this point? Did you have any understanding of it, or did that come back later on?
No, I think later, like way down.
Yeah, way
I kind of,
I
picked
But now
up,
you just thought something's wrong. You know, he's being unfaithful, but you're still not wrapping your head around what's going on. So tell us, how did that progress? Now you have 2 children. You're in an abusive relationship, verbally and physically. You would say? Yeah. What is your mental state in that space?
It was very depressing. I've spent most of my time crying. Life wasn't seem like fun anymore. I wasn't enjoying life because basically it's just a lot I've been dealing with. And I'm trying to hold on to the relationship, trying to get past everything. But each time we thought he promised like changes and everything, and nothing haven't happened. So I would say after I had my son and I find out everything, I tend to get past that, like forgive him and stuff. But there was no changes. Nothing wasn't happening. So I decided to like stick around the same way, but there's different things that keep on come up now where I see like different signs, things happening like controlling, like on my phone, I'm not allowed to speak to family members.
Wow. So that's isolation, coercive control. Wow.
So if I go to anywhere I'm going, he's with me. If I go anywhere by myself, I'd have to have like, he would be calling me. And sometimes for no reason, just like, he would call me and said, Karen, do you know where my toothbrush is? But just like nothing, just random stuff. But I think he just wanted to check the background to see where I'm at, but it's just like random stuff. So other like people around me tend to realize and picked up signs, but I didn't. I realized and picked it up, but I didn't take note to say, look, I need to get out, or because I'm in the relationship. I haven't known anyone else. I haven't known anybody else. It's just us. Yes, it's just us. So when we were together and stuff, and families and stuff are around, then we end up living, going. So I wasn't working. He was the only one providing. After a while, I get to find out that he was like doing things like illegal stuff. So at one point, he was involved with the law. So when this happened, we were together. So he went like involved with the police and stuff. So he was like arrested. He was like, so while I went to like visit him and stuff, like where he was, his brother was there. Like he came to visit as well. There was somebody else. I didn't notice I get to realize that the person that he was of the child with was his brother, girlfriend's sister.
Wow.
So the police must have picked him up somewhere around outside her house, but I didn't know anything about all this. It's after I find out. So when we were sitting there, girl came and both of us came to visit him.
To visit him?
But I didn't know anything.
But she knew you?
But she knew me. So both of us was sitting there because the girl came along with the brother. So all of us was sitting there, visiting him. But it takes a while to come out to the visit. So I'm saying, what's happening? So I'm panicking like something happened or something in there, like something come to him or like he was in a fight, say, or something, and they didn't want to bring him out. But I think he knew
that you're both there.
Yeah. So he didn't want to come out. So after a while we wait, he came out. He was like tears like a bit. So I said, "Are you all right?" He said, "Yeah." No, was waiting, and then was waiting there. I'm saying the time is going. They said we have to go now. I think after he came out. So when he came out, he was like high full of water, like he was crying and stuff. So I said, "You're all right?" Then he said he's not feeling well and stuff. But I said, okay, but I believe all this because I didn't know that he didn't want to come out because the girl was there. So after we left, we finished the visiting, we left, and I talked to him as normal. So I said, okay. So we left, and when I came home, I get to realize that this woman that was there was his baby mother. So I've tried again. When he was released, I think he promised that we will move on, he will change and so forth. I think he cut ties with her for a while.
Have you, at this point, have you spoken to anyone about your situation, what you're going through? Did you have friends or maybe somebody close enough that you can say, okay, I'm going through this man is doing A, B, C, D, what do you think? Did you have any circle of support or somebody that you could have talked to?
No.
To kind of give you an indication of, okay, this doesn't look right. Should I do something about it? Or were you just hanging on and just hoping, well, this relationship is going to get better, tomorrow is going to be a better day? Did you have that sort of mindset at that time?
I haven't got anyone that I could talk to because I didn't want anyone to, like, to say something back to him, to say, look, so I have to really, like,
because you
trustworthy.
Feel like, if you told someone that they would tell him and then he would retaliate.
Yeah. So I feel like I have to really know. But I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my parents what I'm going through. I didn't say anything. Because I didn't want anyone to say, look, they will go back to tell him what's happening or so forth, and then he will realize that I've been saying so. Because even if they go and said anything to him, he would say, look, these persons are jealous of your relationship. They're not giving you good advice and stuff.
Were you afraid of him? Would you say you're afraid?
When he becomes angry, I would afraid because I didn't know what he would do. Yeah, but I didn't want to say anything to no one. But at one point, I built it up. I didn't tell anyone, but I think I've got close cousins around me who picked up stuff. So at one point where I didn't want to say anything, I think we were having a conversation with my daughter, Tajira, and because we were both in my room, and something happened. I can't remember what happened. So it caused me now to, like, open up to tell her because she was quite the eldest. I would say probably around, say, 23.
Okay. Yeah.
21, 23.
So she was mature enough to understand,
So we were sitting and having, something happened because I think she knew from back home because when she was living back home, the picture of the child went to his mom and they were trying to keep it from her. So she was going to school with one of his sister's daughter. So I think the child must have saw the picture and came at school to tell her that, look, Tajira, I didn't know that you've got a sister. So she said, I don't know what you're talking about. And she said, yes, your dad sent a picture of his daughter. And I think she knew then that something was wrong. But I think she wanted to tell me, but not like on the phone or anything, because they keep it from her. So as soon as she came over around when she's about 11. So I think she had that on her mind that she needed to share to tell me. So she came about 2011. When she came, she said, Mom, I've got something I need to tell you. And she said, did you know that Dad had a daughter, like a child outside? So I said to her, Touch, I know, but we've get around that. We talk about it, we move past that, because I didn't want to get her upset or emotional. So I just said, okay. So I think that's when she relaxed to say, I've known her. So when we was having this conversation, something happened. I can't remember what happened. And we were sitting and having a conversation. And I became open up with everything that I've been through to her, telling her everything. So we were both in tears. My son was there as well. I think my son was in his teen. But he hear what I was talking about, but he didn't, like, he knows there's something, but he didn't take it on like much as like Touch. So she's we were sitting having a conversation. I opened up to her, and I think when she get to realize what I've been through and what I said to her, I think she kind of built hunger towards him. And she said, look, I don't think this relationship is healthy for you. I said, Taja, I know, but what can I do? I think it can work. She said, Mom, we can do this. She said, look, we can get a place to rent and stuff and go. But I didn't want her to take on that responsibility of me, her, and her brother, because I wasn't working then. And so I didn't want her to go. She said, Mom, this is seriously not healthy. So I said, Touch, I know, but don't worry, I'm gonna fix this. So things start happening in the home now where if like small things became a issue now regarding like Taj and him, because she tend to know like become protective of me.
You. What was his relationship with the children in general before that?
In general, it was okay. They didn't have like any problem because they didn't see signs of anything and so forth. So it was like a okay relationship. But for me and the kids, we were more close than him and the kids, because I visit back home, but he hasn't been since he left. So it's mostly me went home to visit like to Taj. So at home it's mostly me and my son, because majority of the time I remember he's mostly out at the next home. So it's mostly, so we kind of have that relationship more than him. So at this point, there was lots of fighting in the home, controlling, like regarding the kids and him. So Tajira said to me, I think when she said to me that I need to leave, I said, look, it's not gonna work. So there was this point where she I think he asked her to do something or something come across her. So they became exchanging words to each other loud. So it's like, he's saying, look, you're gonna let her speak to me like that or something. So I said, calm down, Tajira. I said to him, calm down. But both of them becoming like exchanging words. So it's like I can't manage. So it's not like me and him now. It's now going to the kids and him. It's back and forth. So I said at that time, Taj was working. So if like I spend time with him, the kids them feel like not giving them the time, like say for instance, agreeing with what he's doing. And if I spend time with the kids, he feeling like the behavior that the kids are doing, like exchanging words and stuff, I'm agreeing with them. So it's like they want me to choose sides.
Yes.
So at this point, something happened, like physical. Him and Taj became like, Taj was like throwing stuff at him, and they were like into a fight. I said, calm down. So at this point, I couldn't manage. So I left the home. I just jumped in the car and leave. So I turned off my phone. I turned off the location on my phone, and I rang my cousin. I was in tears, and I said, I can't do this. It was a relationship, but now it's becoming like it's my home. It's the kids. Everything is out of control. Everything is out of control. I said, I'm coming over. She said, Karen, no, I'm coming. She was in London at the time. But not London, I'm in South, she was in North. I said, Karen, she said, Karen, I'm coming to you. Just stay where you are. So I sit in the car, and it's like, I'm there speaking, and I said, God, I can't manage, I can't do this. It's too much, I can't bear this. It's like, I want to give up on everything. I want to close. I don't want to go home to be in that atmosphere again and stuff. So when my cousin came, we spent the night. I was sitting there. I know they was trying to call me, but I didn't want to talk. I just want to switch off my phone. So I went home. They were all in bed. I went home about, say, 2, 3 a.m. because we were just sitting in the car with my cousin. She said, look, Karen, just take a moment, just go home and relax. I went home, and when I went home, he said, where are you coming from? I said, I just want to take a moment. But he knew that something happened, that's why I left. So at this point, when after a few days, Taj was working, I said to Taj, like, look, I think like when you're working, it's best for you to move out, to get like a place of your own and stuff. I think it's gone totally out of control. That's how I wanted. It's basically like I'm throwing her out and choosing him.
Choosing him.
And the relationship between me and her was totally like broken. And we changed. She changed numbers. We never talked and stuff.
But that's not what you were. Was that what your intention?
No,
was
it
your
wasn't.
intention to protect her?
I think because it's back and forth, and I know that it's because I've shared stuff regarding what happened. Wishing where I just want to get it out, and I was thinking maybe it's too much. I shouldn't do that. It was too much for her to bear.
She was too young.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So she ended up left. When she left, it became terrible now with my son and him.
Oh,
physically.
So he turned over to your son now.
So my son now became like protective now because he's the eldest now in the home. So if he try like to put his hands on me or stuff, my son would say, you're not gonna do that, Dad. So he became protective now over me. And because of this, it's like they becoming physical fighting. They
because
become
now
physical.
he's, what, 19 maybe, 17?
Yeah, around teen. He was in school, yeah. And because of this, his behavior in school isn't good.
Obviously, yeah.
He hasn't gone through, when it come like secondary, go down to sixth form. He haven't finished like a sixth form, stay in a school. Every sixth form that he's been through to stay, they kicked him out of school because it was out of control, like physical, like he's just out of control, like regarding friends, everything. So while I was at home, I couldn't control my son. The relationship broken down and stuff. So at one point, my son, my son was at school, so something happened, and the school called us to say, look, we need to come. He went, And when he went to visit the school, the school said, look, this had happened and what has happened. So I think in front of the teacher, he must have draping up my son. So this was like a red flag with the teachers.
Right.
So the teachers said, look, we're going in, take a moment here. So they take my son inside. They said, you can't leave, we need to call the police.
Wow.
Because they're not comfortable sending him home with him. So they called the police. And when they called the police came. They called me now to say, look, I have to come for... He came with my youngest child. I have to came for Ayana. So I went up there to get Ayana. I was in tears and stuff. Then the police came. They bring him in for question. They send my son home with me and the kids. But they have to make sure that sending him home, that the kids are safe, everyone is safe and stuff. So they question him and so forth, give him like a warning and so forth. Then they send him home. At this point, I think he is out of control more, but at this point where he know that he can't put his hands on my son anymore, because he know that if he do that, then...
Police will come.
Yeah. So he started now turning it on me back to say, look, it's because of me why my son is doing this, it's because of me while this is happening and so forth. So while my son was there, I'm trying to control my son, my daughter as well, my youngest child, she was there. So while we was there and everything out of control, like he promised to leave, like to have a fresh start and everything. So we moved to Ashford.
Okay.
So when we moved to Ashford, he promised that we're going to come, leave London, leave everything.
Start afresh.
To start over fresh, to come.
At that point, were you hopeful, or did you think that change of location will change this person?
Yeah, I was looking.
Yeah.
I was looking for that. I didn't know Ashford that much, and I didn't know that Taj was living in Ashford. I don't know if he knew that Taj was in Ashford, but I didn't know. Yeah, we lost contact after this. When we came, then I see signs that he's not going to change. There's nothing happening for a change. So I just keep on hanging on.